Hey there guys, Wrestlecade Weekend is coming up November the 24th through the 26th, and so I'm just getting ready for the show, and I'm going to do my predictions for all 4 shows that's going to be at this event. It's going to be GCW, the regular Super Show, AML the day after, and Ladies Night Out. So me and my dad are going to put in our predictions for all the matches that is going to take place on Wrestlecade Weekend. Go check my dad out here on YouTube over there on Brad's Collection. It will be linked down in the description below. First show that we're going to be going to is going to be the GCW show, which will take place on that Friday. First match on the card is Santana Jackson, which looks like a Michael Jackson wannabe to me, versus Mike Jackson. And obviously Mike Jackson, as you can see in the picture, is a veteran in the ring, so it looks like he's going to have the upper hand. Alright, Dad, you tell him, who do you think is going to win this match?
I got to go with Action Mike Jackson. I love watching him. He climbs the ropes. He's very fun for a 70-something-year-old man. He's very fun to watch in the ring.
I'm going to have to agree with that. Definitely considering I have no idea who Santana Jackson is. I'm also going to go with Mike Jackson. Second match is Maki Ito versus Kenzie Page. And I definitely do not know who Maki Ito is, but Kenzie Page is a phenomenal talent. NWA Women's Champion. We've seen her wrestle in other years at The Gathering and at Wrestlecade, and she's a great talent. So, Dad, who do you think is going to win this match?
I'm actually going to go with Maki Ito. I've heard some good things about her. I read that she's very talented, so I'm going to go with her.
And I'm going to go with Kenzie Page.
Oh.
Next up is an intergender match, and I haven't seen one of those live in a long time. This is Masha Slamovich versus Jordan Oliver. We have watched Masha wrestle before. I've never seen Jordan Oliver, but I have heard a lot of good things about him, and I've seen a few of his matches on video. Masha Slamovich was in Impact, I believe, and Jordan Oliver, his name's everywhere. So, Dad, who do you think is going to win this intergender match?
I got to go with Slamovich.
And I'm going to go with Masha as well. I think she's got this one. Next up, we got former AEW superstar Joey Janela versus Mance Warner. And, of course, like I said, from AEW, we know Joey Janela. He's a phenomenal talent, great in ring, and he's actually going to have, I think, 3 matches on this weekend, 2 or 3, and this one is against Mance Warner. I'm going to take Joey Janela on this one. I don't think Mance has a chance in this one. Oh, I rhymed there. But, so, Dad, who do you think is going to take this win, Joey Janela or Mance Warner?
I agree with you. Joey Janela, he didn't get what he deserves, I think, in AEW, and I look forward to seeing him wrestling Mance Warner. Even though Mance Warner is an interesting character, I think Joey Janela will take this match.
Next up is a 6-way tag team match. This is the Insane Clown Bussy versus the Mortons and George South. And, of course, we all know the Mortons with Ricky Morton, and then Kerry Morton being in NWA, and then George South. I've seen him wrestle plenty of times, and so I'm definitely excited to see these guys team up. And then this is going against Effie, and I'm not sure who that one with the pink hair is, and then Allie Katch, all right, and Violent J. And so, Dad, who are you taking on this match?
I got to go with the Mortons. We love Ricky and Kerry Morton. It's going to be fun. George South, always fun to watch him. But I do believe there's going to be an entertaining match with an Insane Clown Bussy, Effie, Allie Katch, Violent J. It's going to be fun.
And I think I'm going to go with the Mortons and George South as well. I think that veteran experience with George South and Ricky Morton, I don't think the Insane Clown Bussy can handle that veteran experience. Next up is going to be Matt Cardona accompanied by Stephanie Lander versus Mike Bailey. And we know Matt Cardona is absolutely amazing. And we saw last year at Wrestlecade, Mike Bailey can put on an absolutely amazing match. And so I have very high expectations for this match. And I think it's going to be an absolute banger. All right, Dad, who do you think is going to take this match?
I'm looking forward to this match. I think it's going to be one of the best matches of the weekend. I got to go with my boy Matt Cardona because he's one of my favorite wrestlers. But I really look forward to this match.
Yep, I think Matt Cardona is going to get this win also. The next match is going to be for the GCW World Championship, and I'm guessing this is going to be the main event of the GCW show. This is the last match I have for the GCW show. This is the GCW World Champion Blake Christian versus Billy Starks, and this is another intergender match. GCW really likes these intergender matches. So, Dad, who are you taking, Blake Christian or Billy Starks?
I think Blake Christian to keep the belt. I've heard good things about him.
Yep, I don't think he's going to lose the belt at a Wrestlecade show. I'm going to take Blake Christian. But I do like Billy Starks. She is a phenomenal talent. I've seen a few of her matches. Getting into the Wrestlecade Super Show, AML is going to have a showcase. This is going to be a dark match right before the show, I'm guessing. And this is going to be White Mike, Billy Brash, Axton Ray, Gustavo, and Beer City Bruiser versus the Skyline, JAC, Zuka King, and John Skyler. So there is a lot of talent in the ring during this match. We know White Mike is hilarious, and he has a lot of pretty good in-ring talent. Billy Brash, also amazing. Axton Ray is a phenomenal talent. Gustavo is as well. And Beer City Bruiser is the veteran on that side of the team. And then we have the Skyline, which I don't know too much about. JAC, also don't know too much about him. And Zuka King is a phenomenal heel. We've seen him in local matches around here in Greenville, South Carolina. And then there's John Skyler, which we have been watching him wrestle live for a long time, and he is great. Alright, Dad, so who do you think is going to take this match?
I got to go with the face team on here. White Mike, Axton Ray, Gustavo, all great talents, and I think that match is definitely going to be fun to watch, but I'm going with the face team.
And I'm going to have to agree with that. I'm going to go with that face team. They got that veteran appearance of Beer City Bruiser and then all the phenomenal young talents. Next up is going to be the Top Rope Battle Royal, and our chance of getting this prediction right is like 1 in however many people are going to be in here, because last year I made my prediction, then Nick Aldis ended up showing up, and he wasn't even on the poster for the match.
Yeah, that's an every year thing for this Battle Royal. They just end up throwing a lot of people in there that's at the convention, get them a little extra money, I'm assuming. So I don't really know if I can pick a winner on this one.
Alright, so I'm just going to flip the coin, and I'm going to go with Shane Taylor. He's a big powerhouse, and he definitely has the power to lead him to victory in this Top Rope Battle Royal. Alright, Dad, who are you taking?
I'm going to go with the man. Rock and Roll Express is Ricky Morton. Why not?
Hey, we'll see our chances. I definitely think it's going to be some special guest come out there and get the win. Next up is a match that I'm definitely very excited for. A lot of talent going to be in the ring. We have Martin Stone, who used to be in WWE, and then we have the veteran appearance of George South. Like I said, he's a veteran. He knows how to do everything in the ring, and so I think this will be a great match. I definitely have high expectations for this match. Alright, Dad, so who are you taking? Are you going to take Martin Stone or George South?
I do look forward to seeing Martin Stone in action, but I think it being Wrestlecade, I don't see them letting George South lose this match.
And I'm going to have to agree with you on that one as well. I definitely think George South is going to get the win. He barely ever loses during the Wrestlecade Super Show. Now, the next match is probably the one that I'm probably most excited for out of all these matches, just because I'm a huge Tajiri fan. I love his in-ring work, and this is the first time I'm ever going to get to meet Tajiri. And so I've been wanting him to come to Wrestlecade for a long time, and finally my dream has come true, and I don't just get to meet him, I get to watch him in action against former AEW superstar Joey Janela. And like I said, I have high expectations for this match. Two phenomenal talents. Obviously, Tajiri's up there in age, but I think it'll be a great one. Who are you taking on this match, Dad? Joey Janela or Tajiri?
I'm like you. I'm excited to see the Japanese buzzsaw Tajiri, and I do think it's going to be a great match, but I think Tajiri will take the win.
And I'm going to agree with you on that one as well. Tajiri is going to take the win. Next up is going to be a 6-man tag team match, and this is going to be Alan Angels, Nick Wayne, and Fuego Sol versus Bojack, Colby Corino, and Diego Hill. We know that Alan Angel's phenomenal talent. Nick Wayne is a phenomenal young talent. I love Nick Wayne. And then Fuego del Sol, also another young talent. This is like the young talents that were either once in AEW or still in AEW versus Bojack, Colby Corino, and Diego Hill, all AML superstars. Colby Corino, a phenomenal talent. If you can't tell, he's the son of Steve Corino. And Bojack, he's a great big powerhouse to really add the power onto that team. And then Diego Hill, which I've seen him wrestle before, just don't know as much about him as I do the rest. And so I am going to take Alan Angels, Nick Wayne, and Fuego del Sol. Who are you going to take, Dad?
I agree. I agree with that. I think all three of them young fellas will take that match.
Next up is a one-on-one women's match between Marina Shafir versus Masha Slamovich. And both of these women are absolute powerhouses. They kind of give you that UFC vibe. Well, they have the chance to absolutely knock each other out. But I am going to take Masha Slamovich on this one. But looking at Marina Shafir, she definitely has a chance to do it. I mean, she's been shown on AEW TV, ROH TV. So, a lot of talent in this match. I think it'll be a good match. Who are you taking, Dad?
I think I'm going to go with Marina Shafir on this one. I think this will. I'm really excited to see her in action.
All right, so we're split 50-50 on that one. We will see who picked the right choice. Next up is the Andersons, accompanied by Arn Anderson. And then it is against the Hughes brothers. And this is Devon Dudley's two twin sons. And I'm really excited to see these guys in action. I've never seen them. I've actually never even watched a match of them. So, yeah, definitely ready to look at their talent. And then, of course, we got the veteran appearance of C.W. Anderson. And then we got the youngster Brock Anderson, the technician, the young technician. And then I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And, of course, Arn Anderson and Devon are probably going to have an outside altercation where they end up bumping each other. Heck, they might get thrown out by the referee. But I am going to take, I think I'm going to take the Hughes brothers on this one. I think they're going to cheat their way to victory because I think they're going to be the faces here. The heels here. I'm not sure. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. All right, Dad, so who are you taking? Are you going to take the Andersons or the Hughes brothers?
I'm going to go with the Andersons. I think CW hit that spine buster in that match.
That's definitely a possibility. But I'm thinking CW is going to put the youngsters over. Next up, we got a 6-way tag team match. This is EC3, Fodder and Angelina Love versus Matt Cardona, Steph DeLander, and Brad Attitude. And I think this is going to be a great match. A lot of talent going to be in the ring with the NWA Championship EC3. And then, of course, Matt Cardona. And Brad Attitude is a phenomenal talent from AML. And so, I definitely think this match is going to be great. But I'm going to have Matt Cardona, Steph DeLander, and Brad Attitude cheating their way out to get the victory. But hey, I never know. Because EC3, he plays a heel too. So, it could be a heel team versus a heel team. Alright, Dad. So, what team are you going to take to get this win?
I would agree with you. Who's the heel team and who's the face team here? Kind of a mixture. But I'm definitely got to go with my boy Matt Cardona, Steph DeLander, and Brad Attitude. That'll be the team I pick.
All right, so great pick. I'm pretty sure that we're going to get that one correct. Next up is a match that I have high expectations for. I think this will be an absolute banger. This is El Hijo del Vikingo, which we know he is a phenomenal high flyer. We've seen him in AEW. He's phenomenal. And then we got Jacob Fatu, and he's got that blood to put on a banger match. He's a part of the bloodline, and he's a great powerhouse. And I do think that these two are going to mesh really well. So, Dad, who do you got winning this match?
I'm going to go with Jacob Fatu. I think the powerhouse to take out the Flying Vikingo. Although I do think it'll be a very fun match, and I look forward to seeing what Vikingo can do in the ring live.
All right, I'm going to have to agree with you. Jacob Fatu, I think his power... I think El Hijo del Vikingo's high flying is going to be no match for the power of Jacob Fatu. Next up is a match that is also probably going to be an absolute banger, and this is Andrade El Idolo versus Speedball Mike Bailey. And like I said, Speedball Mike Bailey is a phenomenal talent. And come on, we all know Andrade is absolutely amazing. He's been putting on bangers in AEW. He did it in WWE NXT. So, I think this is going to be a great match, and I'm going to have Andrade taking the win on this match. Who do you got?
I'm going to go the same way, Andrade, but I do believe this is going to be a very fun, fast-paced match.
I definitely agree. I think this is going to be a great match. Could be match of the weekend. Next up, we got the legendary tag team of the Hardy Boys versus the fun tag team in Heath and Rhino. And I got two of my favorite wrestlers of all time in here with Jeff Hardy and Rhino. So I'm going to enjoy this match. Obviously, both of them are not in their prime anymore, so it might not be an absolute banger like we would see if they were all in their prime. But It's definitely going to be a fun, and the crowd is going to be so excited for this match. And I'm going to have the Hardy Boys taking the win on this match. Who do you got, Dad? The Hardy Boys or Heath and Rhino?
Well, we're in North Carolina. You got to go with the Hardy Boys on this one. It's definitely going to be fun.
And so now we're on to the Ladies Night Out show. If you can't tell by the name, this is a show with all women's matches. First up, oh yeah, do you recognize the girl to the left, Izzy Marino? Yeah, that's the Bayley superfan, and she's going to be taking on Tiffany Naives. And Tiffany Naives is the Mission Pro Wrestling champion, and so this will be for the title. And considering it's for the title, even though I want with a passion for Izzy to win, just because I don't really know who Tiffany is and I know who Izzy is, I want her to win. But since it's for the title, I think Tiffany might keep it.
I have to agree with that.
All right, so we both got Tiffany taking the win. Next up is one that I'm extremely excited for, solely off the fact just because I'm a huge Su Yung fan. I've been a fan of her since the first time I seen her. She's a very cool character, and this is Su Yung versus Allie Katch. I don't know much about Allie Katch. I don't really know anything about her. Don't even know who she is, period. So I'm going to take Su Yung getting this win. Who do you got, Dad?
Now I'm going to go opposite with you here. Su Young's been around a while now, and past couple years she's not been as relevant as she was in the past, and I've heard good things about Allie Katch over the last couple years. We've saw her before, you just may not remember. But I'm going to go with Allie Katch in this match.
Next up, we got Janai Kai versus JC Storm, and I don't really know much about JC Storm. I think I've seen her before, but Janai Kai is a phenomenal talent. She was wrestling on AEW Dark there for a little bit. Not much anymore, I don't think, but I am going to take Janai Kai on this. She's got them powerful kicks, and I think that's going to lead her to victory. Who do you got, Dad?
I'm going with Janai Kai, too. I was very impressed with her last year. At Ladies Night Out, she put on a great match. I believe it was Su Yung, actually, and she won. So I'm going to go with Janai Kai.
This next match is one I'm excited to see because I've never seen Hollywood Haley J live in action, so I'm excited, and she has to take on the Brick House Camille, and this is going to be their first time ever facing off, and I'm excited for this match, and like I said, I'm excited to watch Hollywood Haley J wrestle, but I don't think she is any match for Camille. I don't think she can take on that power, and so I'm going with Camille. Who do you got, Dad?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that match. It's going to be a fun match. I watched the documentary with Hollywood Haley J in it. But I'm going to agree with you on this one. I do believe Camille will power her way into the win for that match.
Next up is one I'm super excited for because I'm a huge Kylan King fan. She is a phenomenal in-ring performer. We saw that last time we watched her wrestle at the Ladies Night Out show last year. And she's going against Caitlin Marie, which we've seen her before, but not quite as impressive as Kylan King. Kylan King has showed up on AEW Dark, and I'm a huge fan of her, and so I'm going to take Kylan King getting the win here.
I have to agree with you. Kylan King, great talent, and I think she'll definitely take the W on this one.
Next up is one that could be fun and very entertaining. This is the NWA Women's Champion Kenzie Page versus the NWA Women's Tag Team Champions Pretty Empowered, and we know Kenzie is a phenomenal talent, and they're going to be taking on the big powerhouse of Savannah Evans, Danny Moe, and then the phenomenal talent of Jada Stone. Jada Stone is very impressive in the ring. She can do some really fun stuff, so I definitely think it'll be a fun match. But come on, this is the NWA Women's Champion we're talking about, and the NWA Women's Tag Team Champions we're talking about. So I'm going to have to take Team Kenzie Page.
I agree. Team Kenzie Page all the way on that one.
Next up, we see her again. This is Masha Slamovich, and she is going to be taking on Zia Brookside. I think this is going to be a great match. I've heard great things about Zia, and I think she was in NXT before. And Masha, as we already said, she is a phenomenal powerhouse and has a lot of power coming behind her. And I'm going to have to take Zia Brookside on this one. I think she's going to somehow work around the power of Masha and find her way to a victory.
I disagree. I think the power of Masha, because I was a little girl, and I think Masha's going to outpower her and win that match.
Next up is going to be a match for the Ladies Night Out Championship, and this is going to be Renee Michelle versus Angelica Risk. And Angelica Risk is the current champion, and I believe it's going to stay like that. I honestly don't know much about either one of them, but just considering she's the champion and she's got that gold around her waist, I'm going to have her winning this match.
All right, I'm going to go with Angelica Risk. If you remember, Renee Michelle is actually married to Drake Maverick. She was on Raw a couple times when they were doing the whole 24/7 thing.
Next up, we are on to the show, AML The Day After. Next up is a 4-way elimination AML Wrestling Championship match, and it says the Skyline are banned from ringside, and the champion here is Brad Attitude, and he will be taking on and defending his title against Billy Brash, the veteran appearance of C.W. Anderson and Axton Ray. And I think this could go any way. I don't think C.W. will win, but honestly, I think I'm going to go with Axton Ray taking the win here. But it is always possible that Brad Attitude could just cheat his way out, like always. And so, Dad, who do you got taking this match?
I agree with you. I'm going to go with Axton Ray. You know, last year at AML The Day After, he proposed to his girlfriend. Of course, she said yes. And this year, why not? Just take the title home with you, buddy.
Next up is going to be a match, and this is a triple threat match for the AML Prestige Championship. And the champion currently is White Mike, and he will be taking on Colby Carino and John Schuyler. And I'm going to have my boy White Mike keeping that title and holding it strong. And so, yeah, who do you got, Dad?
I'm going to go with White Mike as well. White Mike's always a fun part of the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
But this is going to be a good match. Colby Carino, John Schuyler, we've seen all three of these guys several times. But I'm going to go with White Mike.
Next up is going to be what could be a very good match, and this is going to be Martin Stone versus Jacob Fatu, and of course the powerhouse of Jacob Fatu, like I've said before, and Martin Stone, which was in WWE NXT. But I am going to have Jacob Fatu taking the win here. He's the rising star. He's the big dog in town. And so I think he's going to be able to take it. Who do you got, Dad?
I agree with you. I think Jacob Fatu definitely is going to take this match. It should be fun, though. Martin Stone, big fan of him as Danny Burch in WWE, and heard good things about him on the independents. But I think Jacob Fatu will take that match.
Next up is going to be a World Tag Team Championship match, and this is going to be the Skyline versus the Dawson Brothers. And the Skyline are the champions here, which obviously I don't get to go to every AML show, only this one every year. And so I don't know that much about the Skyline, and from what I hear, they seem to be heels. And from past years, the Dawson Brothers have been heels as well. So I don't know if Dawson Brothers are now face, but this looks to me to be like a heel versus heel face-off. But I guess I'm going to go with the Skyline keeping the titles just since they're the champions. And I really don't know that much about them, but the Dawson Brothers are amazing. I love that tag team. They're great heels, so they definitely have that powerhouse ability to take the titles. So who do you got taking this match, Dad?
You know what? I'm going to go with the Dawsons. We've seen them at every Wrestlecade we've been to. They're fun to argue with in the ring, and so I think that I think they'll win it.
Next up, we got a fatal 4-way match between Gustavo, Marcus Cross, Richard Holiday, and Logan Quindell. And I don't really know much about Richard Holiday or Logan Quindell, but I do know Gustavo is a phenomenal talent. I'm a huge fan of his, and so is Marcus Cross. And so in this fatal 4-way match, I'm going to have Gustavo taking this win. Who do you got?
I agree. I think Gustavo, he always very entertaining to watch. I think somehow he'll come up with a W.
Next up is a 3-way tag team match. This is Diego Hill and Bojack versus Zuka King and JAC versus the Hughes Brothers. And honestly, I don't think any of the other two teams other than the Hughes Brothers are actual tag teams. I think they're just pair-ups. But I'm not sure. So I'm going to take the Young Twins, the Hughes Brothers.
I agree. I'm going to go with the Hughes Brothers as well.
Next up is a hardcore match between Joey Janela and George South. And last year, Nick Gage had a match with George South, and I don't know how George South made it through. He had so much blood all over his face. I don't know how many light tubes they went through. They went through 2 doors, I think it was, and so much other stuff. And so this match could be absolutely fun, extreme. I'm really excited for this match. And I'm going to have George South taking this win here because I think he lost to Nick Gage last year, and I think it's time for him to get his hardcore flowers because everything that he went through last year, he deserves a win in a hardcore match. and this match could be really fun and dangerous. So, who is your pick here, Dad?
I agree. I'm going to have to go with George South. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the last match of the entire weekend, and therefore they're going to end it with a bang. Let George go on top. The end. Thank you, George.
There you guys have it. Thank you if you stuck around for this entire video. This was a long one because we have a long weekend ahead of us that we are so excited for. And so come on out if you're in the area. You definitely do not want to miss this Wrestlecade weekend. They got meet and greets. Just check out the website that I will have linked down in the description below. And also check out my dad here on YouTube over there at Brad's Collection. And so I'll see you guys on the next one. If you come to Wrestlecade, I hope you have fun.